Hey folks, so I guess it reflects like a mirror. Um, Anyways, so welcome back to Kitchen Sink Recipes. So last time I made, no, that was my breakfast, but the time before I made pancakes with a pancake mix. It said it needed egg and used it without the egg. So I have, amongst many of the other food bank given food that I give, is a ton of this corn muffin mix. It also requires eggs and milk. I do have the milk. I don't want to use the eggs I have. So I'm going to make it without the eggs. But I'm not going to make corn muffins. I'm going to make corn cakes. I'm going to make it like I'm making pancakes. So this is one I'm not entirely sure of will actually work out. So it may or may not be effective. So we're going to try to make corn cake pancakes. Get a bowl out to put them into. I'm going to need a pan for that. There we go. Don't mind me cleaning up the furnace. As they have gotten some soap on them. When I was cleaning them, I didn't get the soap off them. Oh. Yeah, Jay, you pull one bowl out and I'll just slide through it. Dump the mix. Extra half cup of milk. I'm going to add a little bit extra water because I won't have the eggs for the binding. And also I'm going to put a little bit of flour into this here in a second. Getting to the point where I might have to hoard my milk a little bit too. Yeah, there's something called 2 whole large eggs, and that is a whole large breakfast for me. You know what? I just put this milk in here, added water, and realized I'm going to try a different substitute. I actually have dry milk. This stuff, they give you at the food bank too. It's terrible, but I can cook with it in place of milk. So that milk I just used, since I realized I'm starting to run low, I'm going to put it back in the fridge and keep it for cereal or other make. So I poured what I had left of that dry milk. I've been using it as coffee creamer, but it's still not good as that either. Anything where you can actually taste the milk in it, I wouldn't recommend using it for. Go ahead and stir that up. I'm looking to have 1 full cup here. I've doubled the moisture content for now. I may have to add a little bit more water. It doesn't have to be exactly precise because I'm making cakes and not like baking in an oven, something in an oven. Properly mix all that powder. So, go ahead and get out my short man helper and grab some flour. And in these tiny apartment kitchens, you cannot do anything without moving every little thing you own around. We'll put that flour away later. Don't know if I'm going to need more. And I'm going to keep that for a second out because I might need some spices. So right now I got a 1/3 cup. And about a 1/3 cup of flour to this because I want to make it more pancake. I might have overestimated on the liquid. The good news is if you're a regular baker and you over add on liquid, any recipes that require flour, you over add on the liquid. Actually, I might be wrong. You can always add a little bit more flour to absorb that moisture without affecting your recipe too much. I was lying about that. So, okay. So, fake milk. So the normal recipe calls for this box of powder, a half a cup of milk, and 2 whole large eggs. I actually added a full cup of liquid, water with dry milk powder in it. Did not add the eggs, and I added a 1/3 cup of flour because we're trying to make corn cakes. Now, for the Xander touch. Now, we did purple last time, green. So we're going to make these corny Xander cakes, only because this stuff's naturally yellow, and the other colors might look a little weird. 2 drops of food coloring. Let's see what it does to things. All right. Just like a little light minty green. A little bit more. I could have got a darker Hulker green, but I think minty green is good enough. Darker green might look a little unappetizing. As for what I'm going to use this 1/8 cup pourer for this. Let's go ahead and spray down our pan with the cooking spray. Now, if you run out of cooking spray, you can use just regular old cooking oil. Do no more than about a capful of it because the regular oil goes a lot further than this spray. Give that a second heat up. As you can see, I haven't done my dishes from cooking. Actually, this is from previous cookings. That cherry cake I made the other day is finally gone. I ate it in huge amounts. And I had a turkey bone soup, which would have been perfect to show you guys, but I made it before I thought of making this thing. Hear that smoking I was telling you about from the soap on my burner. This is my bleaching rag, so I'm keeping it separate. Every time I do the dishes, when I'm done, I pour a little bit of bleach into the dishwater and kind of wipe down everything in my kitchen, just to keep everything safe. And then, as you can see, I've washed some old toys for my son. Same thing. I've been bleaching. Anything I bring into my house is getting bleached, as long as I don't actually have to eat it. Looking for a pan. Dirty old dishes there. Oh, you know what? I mentioned I was going to throw some spices into this. Cornmeal isn't necessarily very flavorful. I'm going to put a little bit of cinnamon into it just because I did it in that last recipe and it actually seemed to really help. I'm going to throw a dash of sugar in there. I would say maybe less than 1/8 cup, a couple tablespoons. Cinnamon may or may not change the color. Maybe you can see what it looks like now. A little bit of spirals of that. Now it's got that corny, gritty texture. That might be the one thing that might make this fail. It's not going to be the taste. It might be the texture of the cakes. Now, I was speaking with my son's mother earlier today when I mentioned this idea, and she thought that it sounded a lot like fried corn cakes that you've heard people make. So they came out more like that and less like a pancake. Just letting it heat up. I'm going to go grab my coffee. In my fabulous Tinkerbell mug. Those who used to attend my house know my weirdness with my Tinkerbell mug. It's one of the few things that no one else is allowed to touch. All right, that's probably enough. So I'm just going to use an 1/8 cup scooper to scoop out some little corn cakes in here. They definitely don't spread very well. So I think I'm definitely going to put some more liquid in the next batch. Yay for not doing dishes. Let's see, a little bit more liquid in there. It's a little bit more spready. It might be a little too much. It's okay, it'll thicken up in my next batch. No, actually, it's doing quite well. These definitely don't spread like the other ones did. Even with enough liquid, and this seems pretty liquidy. So it's taken at least a 1/4 cup of batter to make one of these little, like, silver dollar sized pancakes. Flipping my first one. Does look pretty close approximation of a pancake. Now, that one could have had a few more minutes on that side. Okay, we are experimenting in the kitchen. And I'd rather be the experimenter in that I have a ridiculous amount of this corn muffin mix. And if you're stuck at home and want to avoid going to get more groceries, you don't really have a shortage as most people think you do. But just to limit your human contact, you're trying to just use up what you got laying around the house. That's the purpose of kitchen sink recipes, is you throw in everything but the kitchen sink. In some cases, you don't even have the sink. I'm actually done. Let's flip these other two where I added more water. They are much thinner. All right. Well, here's our very first one. I want to get these 3 on the plate. I'll put a little syrup on it. See if they are indeed edible. And just like making the other pancakes, it does make my kitchen a little bit smoky. But it is a nice and sunny day. I'm going to get some air in here. Bearing that this is Ohio, that air is still cold as hell. Well, these appear to be done. So we got some green corn cakes. Or now that I added the food coloring, as I specified earlier, I Xanderfied them. So now these are corny Xander cakes. While I'm waiting, I'm going to go ahead and put down another set of these. They cook really quickly. So I always make up a big old batch of them and then freeze the leftovers. Quarter cup of batter for each. Okay, corn cakes. Sans milk and regular milk. Sans regular milk and eggs. And greenified. We'll put the usual syrup on it. Grab our magic rainbow fork. Let's see if we're edible. So it looks like on the inside. Not bad. I think the sugar really actually helped a little bit. They definitely have that cornmeal texture to them. You can add a bit more flour if you want them to be more cakey. Surprisingly, this was more successful than I thought it would be. It's basically like eating a hybrid of a corn muffin and a pancake. I'm going to flip these before I sign off with you guys. All right, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully that would be helpful. I encourage you guys to keep trying to just make do with what you got and find new ways to use it so that we don't have food waste in our country in a time when we may or may not have a shortage. We at the very least have a shortage of income in buying more food. Thank you, and I'll see you again.